You ever get that strange feeling someone's watching you? Now imagine that feeling, followed by a car slowly creeping behind you, headlights off, windows tinted. You take a turn. It turns too. You speed up, so does it. And suddenly, every breath you take feels like a countdown. Tonight, you're hearing 3 true stories of terrifying kidnapping attempts that almost ended in disaster. These aren't movie plots, they're real. And they could have happened to anyone, even you. The stranger at the bus stop. This happened to Jenna when she was 16. It was a regular Tuesday, rainy, cold. She had missed her usual ride home, so she waited alone at a nearly empty bus stop near her school around 6 p.m. Streetlights flickered. No one around except for a black car parked across the street. She noticed the driver, a man in a cap, staring at her. Not moving, not blinking, just staring. She looked away, but when she glanced back a minute later, he was still there. Same posture, same dead stare. At first, Jenna tried to ignore him. She put on her earbuds, turned up the volume, and kept her eyes on the empty street. But even through her music, she felt watched. Her skin prickled. Her instincts screamed something wasn't right. When she glanced again, the man was no longer in the car. She froze. A second later, she heard footsteps behind her. Slow, deliberate ones. She didn't want to turn around, but something made her glance over her shoulder. There he was, walking toward her, hands in pockets, smiling like he already knew her. He said, "Hey, you need a ride? This area's not safe." She backed away immediately, muttering, "No thanks." Her heart was pounding now, but the man didn't stop. He kept walking toward her, still calm, still smiling. Jenna took a step back, gripping her backpack straps tight. "I said I'm fine," she repeated, louder this time. But the man kept coming. He suddenly reached into his coat. That's when Jenna panicked. She turned and ran. The bus stop was isolated, just a narrow sidewalk, no nearby stores or open houses. Her only option was to run down the block and cut through a narrow alley she used as a shortcut to school. She didn't look back. Just the sound of her shoes slapping the wet pavement, the pounding in her chest, and the growing sound of footsteps behind her. He was chasing her. Jenna's legs burned. Her lungs were on fire. She burst out of the alley onto a main road. Cars, lights, people. She didn't stop. She waved her arms, screaming, "Help! He's chasing me!" A couple walking their dog froze as they saw her sprint toward them. They looked behind her and saw the man emerge from the alley. The woman shouted, "What the hell are you doing?" and pulled out her phone. The man stopped, looked at all of them, then slowly turned and walked back into the shadows without saying a word. Police arrived 10 minutes later, but the man was gone. They never found him. To this day, Jenna wonders what would have happened if she had waited just one more minute at that bus stop. But she knows. She was almost taken. Marcus was 12 when it happened. A quiet kid, loved riding his bike around his neighborhood after school. Safe place, good neighbors. Nothing ever really happened on Sycamore Street until that afternoon. He was circling the block like always when he noticed a white van parked near the corner. No windows on the side, no logos, just plain and old. He didn't think much of it at first, but every time he came around the block, the van was still there. Engine off, parked just a little differently than before. By the third loop, he started getting nervous. The van had moved a few feet down the curb, and now the driver's side window was slightly rolled down. He slowed down his bike, pretending to check his phone. That's when he saw a man in the driver's seat, just sitting there, staring at him through sunglasses, not blinking, not smiling, just waiting. Marcus didn't like how the man was watching him. His gut twisted. So he turned his bike around and took a different route, away from the van toward a side street that looped back to his house. He glanced back once and saw the van's engine turn on. Headlights flicked on, and slowly, too slowly, it started following. It wasn't fast, just steady, like the man didn't want to lose him. Marcus didn't wait. He pedaled hard, heart racing, cutting through a shortcut behind a row of houses. He had used this alley dozens of times, but when he popped out onto the other end of the street, the van was already there, waiting. It had taken another route. Blocked him in. Marcus slammed on his brakes. His mouth went dry. The man was standing by the van now, just waiting, arms crossed, like he was daring Marcus to try something. For a split second, Marcus considered turning around again, but the alley was too narrow to maneuver fast, and the man took a step forward. So Marcus made a split-second decision. He bolted off the sidewalk through a neighbor's yard, hopping the curb and cutting across the grass. The man shouted something, but Marcus didn't stop. He heard the van's tires screech as it reversed, trying to follow. But Marcus was already between fences now, darting behind sheds and backyards. He finally made it to his own street, out of breath, shaking. He dropped his bike on the porch, ran inside, and locked the door. Marcus's mom found him shaking by the door. He told her everything, the van, the man, how he was blocked off. She immediately called the police. When the cops arrived, the van was long gone, but they didn't brush it off. They took his story seriously. Later that week, officers knocked on their door again. They'd found the van, abandoned 2 neighborhoods over. Inside, it was a nightmare. Rope, zip ties, duct tape, an empty dog cage in the back, and a burner phone with photos of multiple kids. One of them was Marcus, taken at the park 2 days earlier. Police never found the man who owned the van, but they told Marcus's family something that still haunts them. Whoever he is, he was planning this, he was watching, and your son wasn't the first. Rachel was 24. It was late. Past midnight, she was driving home alone after visiting a friend in another town. Long, empty highway. Just her, the road, and a few dim rest stops scattered between exits. Her gas light blinked on. She pulled into the only station around. Old, flickering lights, mostly shut down except for one working pump. She got out quickly, left the engine running, and started pumping gas. Then she heard it, a soft voice behind her. "You don't look like you're from around here." She turned. A man was standing way too close. No sound of a car pulling up, no footsteps, just there. Rachel forced a smile. "Just passing through," she said, trying to sound casual. The man tilted his head. "That so? Pretty late for a solo drive?" He stepped closer. Too close. Rachel instinctively moved around her car, placing the vehicle between them. She glanced toward the mini-mart, dark inside. No cashier, no other cars, no help. The pump clicked, tank full. She unhooked the nozzle fast. That's when he said it. "You shouldn't leave just yet." Rachel froze. The man's hand slid into his jacket pocket. That was all she needed to see. She yanked the pump handle free, tossed it to the ground, jumped into her car, and hit the locks just as he lunged at the door. Rachel hit the gas. Tires screeched as she pulled out of the station, heart racing, eyes flicking to the mirror. The man stood in the lot, watching her go, until he suddenly raised his hand and made a strange wave. Rachel didn't understand what it meant until headlights turned on behind her. Another car had been waiting, parked just beyond the station's exit. It pulled out fast. Rachel's hands tightened on the wheel. She didn't know the roads, just empty stretches of highway with few lights and no exits for miles. The car sped up, closer, its high beams on, no plates. She swerved into the opposite lane, trying to lose it, but it stayed right on her tail, closer and closer, like it wanted to ram her off the road. Rachel spotted a sign. Rest stop, 1 mile, her only chance. She floored it, tires screaming. The second car tried to catch up, but she weaved between lanes, forcing distance. She flew into the rest stop parking lot, headlights flashing, horn blaring. There was a semi-truck parked near the bathrooms, lights on. A man in a safety vest stepped out. Rachel jumped out of her car, yelling, "Call the cops! Someone's chasing me!" The black car pulled in, then suddenly braked. The driver paused, saw the trucker, and backed out fast. Tires squealing. Gone. Cops arrived 15 minutes later. Rachel gave her report, still shaking. The highway cameras never caught the plate. The car and the man at the gas station were never identified. She doesn't stop for gas alone at night anymore, and she still wonders, what if that trucker hadn't been there?